I went from just this bare dirt to a good thriving garden in just a few months. I'm a long ways from where I want to be, but these 3 steps have me going in the right direction. It really didn't just happen overnight. There were some things that I did that helped the process. First thing I did was I got some manure. This is chicken manure. And I just spread it all over. Then I just watered it in. But you don't want to just leave it just bare like that. We're going to cover it with some compost. This is some partially broken down compost. And I like it partially broken down this time of year because it gives it time on the bed to get established, to get all their microbes in there populated, so they'll start working on this and breaking it down, and it'll be ready for the plants to take up when it comes time to plant. All I do is I just spread it out. I don't want it just super thick. I'm gonna cover it, let everything break down nicely, so when spring comes, I have a nice bed already ready for the plants to enjoy. Then I just water it in again. Since I've got plenty of leaves, I'm just going to cover it with that. Then I just water that in. All I did was basically a 3-step process that I do with every garden that I have, whether it's a flower garden, whether it's a raised garden, whether it's a container garden, whatever kind of garden, that this process works. Because what you're doing, you've got your soil is your base. That's where all your minerals are at. That's where the plants go mining into to bring up all the nutrients, the macro and the micronutrients that are necessary for the plants to survive. And then we add the fertilizer, and that provides nutrients as well to take it up and to ingest it, to release it into soluble nutrients for the plant. Then on top of that, we had the compost, which is a little bit bigger. It gives another habitat for the life in the soil to live in and to eat on. And then of course we had the leaves that we covered it with. That's just basically to provide a cover. It'll mulch down, it'll break down, it'll compost down into nutrients, but basically I want to cover it. So to keep that soil covered and to keep all those nutrients alive and healthy as the days get shorter, the temperatures get colder, that I want them to have a place that they can live, where they can survive throughout the winter. A lot of our plants are frost hardy, like these cabbages. We got some crimson clover here that I used as a cover. First step we used was fertilizer. We used chicken manure, but you can use rabbit manure. There's all different kind of manures that you might have at your place I don't have here. The second layer, the compost layer, you don't even have to have the compost in that form. You can just take the plants that have died off in your garden, just lay that over the fertilizer, and that'll be your compost. Your third layer is just a covering. You can use leaves like I did on the bed, or else you can just use this cardboard, whatever you can get your hands on. Here's a bed that I just simply got wood chips on. I covered it, I fertilized it, I composted it, put wood chips over. I'm just gonna let this bed sit. I'm not gonna plant in it until spring. This is the bed where my okra was at. You can see I just cut it off. I'm gonna have to cut it off closer to the ground, but I had hay over this and I just raked it off for the time being because I wanna come back over this. I want to put my fertilizer, I want to put my compost, whatever that is, whatever kind of fertilizer I use, whatever kind of compost I use, I want to put it on here. And then I want to cover it back up with the hay that I took off. It'll break down through the winter. Now, there are some things that I want to plant. I could plant my garlic, I could plant seedlings, cabbage, rutabagas, anything that you'd want to start from a seedling. Even though it's covered, I can dig through that and I can plant. But what I want to do with this old dirt that's uncovered, I don't want to leave it uncovered. I want to have something over it, whether it be a mulch, whether it be leaves or cardboard or something, or whether it be a cover crop, such as the crimson clover as I had on my other bed over there. Whatever it is, I want it covered with something. But it's not always convenient. I may want to come in here and plant some mustard greens, just little bitty seeds. I may want to come in here and plant carrot. They don't need to be covered with all that mulch just yet. Or what I can do, I can go ahead and kind of scuff this up a little bit and I can plant my seeds directly into here. Then I can put like just a light layer of mulch over it, light layer of compost or something like that. Don't want it too much. As they come up, the plants themselves will be what covers the soil. And so if my plants are covered, whether it's mustard greens or whether it's carrots, whether it's whatever I'm planting, turnips, that it will cover the soil. It'll keep it from drying out. Gardening really is that simple. You just give it something to eat. You keep the soil from drying out. You give it plenty of water. It don't really matter, but at least that you got something in the ground. You got something to provide for the microbes and your life in the soil. When it comes time to grow the plants that you want, it'll be a fertile soil for those plants to grow up in. I hope that you enjoyed this little short video. God bless. Y'all have a fantastic day.